Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Joni Ogg, and on behalf of travelprofessionalnews.com and homebasedtravelagent.com and findahosttravelagency.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here with us. We're really excited today because we're going to hear about a product that I'm very interested in learning more about, and we're thrilled to welcome our speaker today, Aimee Price. She's the head of sales for Explora Journeys, the European luxury lifestyle brand that is redefining ocean travel. And in her position, she works alongside the president, Chris Austin, in North America to develop and deliver the commercial sales strategy, as well as to lead a sales organization focused on B2B2C strategy. She is a cruise industry veteran of more than 30 years, and she's committed to supporting the travel advisor community. And today's webinar topic is Sail Unique with Explora Journeys, a luxury hotel at sea. We've had a really good turnout today in registration, so we're excited to have a big webinar. I want to remind you all that you are muted during the presentation, but we do, of course, welcome your questions at any time. And you can see the question area on the right-hand side of your screen in that panel, and just put your questions in there, and we'll get to those as soon as we can when Aimee's completed her presentation. We are going to be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card to some lucky person today, so listen carefully for your chance to win. And so I'm going to turn it over right away to Aimee so she can get started. Welcome, Aimee.
Thanks, Joni, and thank you everyone for joining us today. You know, as a new brand, as Joni mentioned, it's really important for us to get in front of the travel advisors and educate you on what we offer and how we differentiate ourselves in the ocean space. And I think one of the biggest differentiators that you'll find is that it's really important for you as advisors to align yourself with brands that have done a lot of research. And that's exactly what we've done, is we've done a ton of research as we've come to fruition and built the brand. And probably the most important research that we've done is the fact that we interviewed over 20,000 luxury travelers before we even started building the brand. And really what we were most interested in understanding through these interviews and conversations was what is important to a luxury traveler. Not necessarily a luxury traveler on the water, but just a luxury traveler in general. Because I think in order to be differentiated, we needed to come to the market in a new and fresh way. So these luxury travelers were really key to helping us develop the pillars, which I'm going to share with you in a moment, that have been at the forefront of everything that we've done as we've developed Explora Journeys, not only the physical attributes of the ship, but the commercial terms and the onboard products and so on and so forth. In addition to talking to travelers, we also felt it was really important to talk to travel advisors. We like to say at Explora Journeys that we have something called the art of listening. And through that art of listening and our immense experience that our commercial team has, we've had the opportunity to develop commercial terms, which I'll be sharing with you throughout the presentation, that we feel are very attractive to travel advisors. And we've also, as Joni mentioned in the introduction, really leaned into a business model of a B2B2C fruition and bringing the brand to light. So without further ado, in those conversations, the key pillars that we really focused on as we built the brand are what you're going to see on the screen here, and they are space, choice, design, and immersive journeys. And I'm going to weave these in throughout the conversation today. But as you look at these pillars, I think one thing that you'll see in common here is that some of these pillars tend to be aversions that people have to taking a cruise in general. They get the idea of a cruise in their head and they think they're not going to have enough space, that they're going to be in a small confined cabin, claustrophobic, that they're not going to have a lot of choice, that they're going to be forced into one restaurant every night at specific times, into one show every night at specific times, and they're just going to be moving around like robots. They also have this perception that the design of ships is kind of traditional and older and not necessarily comfortable. And then when it comes to visiting the destinations, the perception is that you're in for a short amount of time and you're out, and you don't really get to understand or truly experience the destination. So we've tried to turn all these perceptions upside down in many different ways, and I'm going to explain those to you in a moment. But I think the very first thing to really note is that with our ships, you're going to see the largest guest to space ratio in the industry for ships of our size, especially in the luxury sector. And that is very important into the fact that we're able to deliver choice and also deliver on that design. And then as we go into the destinations as well, delivering those immersive journeys. So with those 4 key pillars, what we really aimed to do was redefine that classic luxury cruise expectation into more of an experience that we call ocean journeys. And a journey can be many things to many different people, and a cruise can just be a portion of that journey. So we don't want to alienate ourselves from the pre and post prospect of a journey. You can get into a destination and maybe a cruise is just a portion or a piece of their journey in that destination. So think of us as a part of the whole journey, and the journey really can actually begin with the actual planning of a vacation experience. But ultimately, we wanted to provide a new style of travel on the ocean that is more transformative, but really embraces luxury and exploration in all its formats. And what we call that is our own way of discovering the ocean state of mind. So when you sail with us, we really want to make sure that the ocean is front and center of everything that we do. All of our spaces on board have floor-to-ceiling windows, access to the ocean at all times, because the ocean really is to be honored and is a huge part of why we are here and why we are in the industry today. So as we've been building the brand, we have actually confirmed the delivery of 6 brand new ships that are part of Explora Journeys. And you'll notice we very easily named them Explora 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. First 2 ships are already in operation, Explora 1 and Explora 2. They've been in operation, Explora 1 now since August of 2023 and Explora 2 since August of 2024. So we've got some great experience under our belt, and we've gotten some great feedback, and I'm going to share that with you in a bit too. But what you're also going to see here is that we have 4 more ships coming. Explora 1 and 2 are virtually identical. I like to say that they each have their own personalities by way of color palette, but size, design, layout, suites, everything are identical. When it comes to ships 3, 4, 5, and 6, they are going to be slightly different in that they will be 60 feet longer. The reason for this is the company has a very forward focus on sustainability and environmental practices. And with that 60 feet, we are going to be able to operate the ships with LNG power and eventually hydrogen power. So that's the space dedicated to the tanks and battery packs and whatnot that are needed to be able to operate in LNG and eventually hydrogen. But what the company has decided with that space is that they haven't crammed in an additional 40 to 50 suites. Instead, as I mentioned earlier, we have the largest guest to space ratio in the industry. We are going to continue to keep that guest to space ratio extremely high. So ships 1 and 2 have 461 all oceanfront all terrace suites. Ships 3, 4, 5, and 6, we're looking at 463 suites. So we're getting an additional 60 feet, but we're also gaining a ton more public spaces and a ton more space for the guests to spread out. So that guest to space ratio is going to be even larger. Now, we haven't introduced a lot of information about ship 3 yet. The deck plans are out there. Her deployment is on sale through May of 2027, but there's going to be more and more exciting things that we'll be releasing here in the coming months about Explora 3. So if you haven't already registered with us on our Travel Advisor Center, I encourage you to do that, because that's how you're going to stay informed and up to date on everything that transpires as we continue to build this amazing brand that we've started already. Now, I mentioned that we have a big focus on environmental and supporting features. This slide demonstrates a little bit of what the company has done to make sure that Explora 1 and Explora 2 have some of the most advanced technology features when it comes to supporting the environment. One thing I like to highlight is that we have ship-to-shore power on these ships, and not every port even has that functionality or capability. For example, when we pulled in the port of San Pedro in LA, that was the first time I actually saw us plug in the ship, and it literally is a huge extension cord that plugs into the port, and we take the energy from the destination as opposed to having to use gas and create our own energy. So that's pretty exciting. You know, we have no single-use plastics on board, defouling paint, arena noise cancellation. So lots of great environmental features, all with the idea that we want to, as a brand, not only Explora Journeys, but the MSC Group, the Mediterranean shipping company that owns Explora Journeys. We really want to focus on leaving a positive legacy for the next generations, especially as it relates to the oceans and the places that we travel. Now, speaking of the places that we travel, as I mentioned, destinations and being a bit more immersive in those destinations is one of our key pillars. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is our destination philosophy. We wanted to make our itineraries feel a little bit more residential. So you're going to see us travel a little bit slower and deeper into the destinations, lingering a little bit longer with late night stays, overnights in some destinations. We've actually designed our itineraries to travel much more like a yacht. And when you look at our ships, they do look like very large super yachts. They've been designed by Martin Francis, one of the premier super yacht architects in the world, and they're being built in Fincantieri in Italy, which is very well versed at building super yachts. We wanted to provide ease of access to embarkation and debarkation ports, so you're going to see us visiting some of the well-known places, mainly for the embark-debark prospect, but then going to some of the off-the-beaten-path places to really deliver more of that destination. When you see our itineraries, you're also going to see us featuring 7-night itineraries. But what you won't see is us sitting in one destination and doing round-trip itineraries that are the same week after week after week. What we've done with those 7-night itineraries is that we've oftentimes provided you with the opportunity to string 7-night itineraries back to back to back to back to back to create longer, grander, extended journeys for your clients who want to spend more time on board. But we as a brand are really targeting an affluent working demographic who don't always have the 10, 12, 14 nights to spend on a vacation. So we focus more on the 7-night itineraries to give them the opportunity to experience our brand. And then if they like, they can stay on longer, they can come back for longer durations, but it gives them the opportunity to experience something and not be tied into a really long period of time, which a lot of other luxury itineraries you will find spending more time in destinations. Now, where are we traveling as far as destinations are concerned? Right now, ships 1 and 2 are predominantly in the Caribbean at the moment. They will both be transitioning to the Mediterranean here very shortly, and they will be spending their summer months and early fall months in the Mediterranean. Explora 1 will be doing Eastern Med, and Explora 2 does Western Med. From there, they then come back to the Caribbean for the winter time in the winter of 25-26. And then we will see even more diversification in our deployment as we add ship 3 into the mix. She will come into the mix in the summer of 2026. And as I mentioned, her itineraries as well as Explora 1 and 2 are now open through May of 2027. We just opened last week. We gave access to travel advisors for a week before we've now launched them on our website. But Explora 3 will be introduced, and she'll start off in the Northern Europe area doing some Iceland, Greenland itineraries. She'll also be headed to the East Coast to doing some maritime, Canadian maritime fall foliage type tours and itineraries. And then she'll be headed down to the Caribbean, where she will be joined by Explora 2 in the winter of 26-27. Explora 1, these 2 ships will be doing Caribbean, and Explora 1 is actually going to be venturing into South America and the Amazon during that time frame. While those 2 ships are in the Caribbean and South America, ship number 2 will be headed to the Red Sea and Arabian Peninsula during the winter, late fall and winter months of 26-27. Another exciting thing that I want to point out is Explora 3 will be going through the Panama Canal, and she will be headed up the West Coast in the spring of 2027. So because she's on the West Coast, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what's to come, but you might consider that Alaska might be in our future for the summer of 2027. But note that by the end of this year, because we're going to be introducing ship 4 and ship 5 in 2027, we will have deployment open for 5 ships by the end of this year. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to be booking into us. And as we introduce more ships, we've always said that our brand will become more global from a deployment standpoint. Another thing that I want to highlight that's very exciting about our deployment in the summer, early summer months, is the fact that we have a partnership with F1, so Formula One, and we will be the only ship docked in Monaco for the Monaco-Monte Carlo Grand Prix in May of this year. And this is a multi-year agreement. So if you have clients that are F1 fans, let them know about us. Hotels might be sold out, but we are docked 150 meters from the race start there that you can see, and we'll be there for 5 days. So they would have access to all 3 races, all the warm-up races, and then of course the actual Grand Prix on the 3rd day. Guests who decide to book with us in the Ocean Terrace and Penthouse suites, their booking would include tickets, covered grandstand tickets to all 3 days of events. If guests book in our residences, that would include paddock tickets. So that really is the creme de la creme of access to Formula One. Now, at this point, you also might have aspirational clients in your database that have always maybe dreamed of going to Formula One in Monaco. We still have space, and I would highly encourage you to put this in front of your clients. We also offer journeys both pre and post the 5 nights in Monaco. So if they wanted to sail into Monaco and spend the 5 nights there, or get on board, spend the 5 nights in Monaco, and then sail out, they can do that, or they can bookend both. So definitely a bucket list trip for a lot of people, but for those avid Formula One guests, this is a multi-year agreement that we have with Formula One. And let's just say there might be some really cool experiences happening on our ship, because half of the ship is chartered by Formula One. So there might be some famous people, some teams on board, you never know. We're going to be making more announcements about that very soon as well. So think of us when it comes to your Formula One connection at the Monaco Grand Prix. Now, I also wanted to cover, before getting into more details of the physical attributes of the ship, what's covered in your journey fare, whether you're booking F1 or you're booking Canadian Maritimes, or maybe that's South America into the Amazon. Included in your journey fare is everything that you see here on the screen. So varied culinary experiences. So I mentioned one of the pillars is choice. We have a lot of choice when it comes to culinary, and we are definitely going to be covering that today. Unlimited beverages, fine wines, and premium spirits are included. You get an in-suite bottle of true French champagne from the LVMH family of brands. You also get a spirit of your choice in your in-suite minibar and a bunch of mixers to go with that. We've got some amazing services I'm going to touch on in a moment. Access to the spa thermal area is included. So that's the hydrotherapy pool, the steam rooms, the Himalayan salt cave experience, showers, so on and so forth. Well-being and fitness programs, 30-minute yoga classes, sound baths, boot camps, strength classes, you name it, we have it. Complimentary high-speed Wi-Fi throughout the ship. And I want to take a moment here, because I mentioned earlier that we are targeting that affluent, working, wealthy. And one of the versions to cruising can be that people feel Wi-Fi is pretty spotty on board. I am here to tell you that that is not the case on Explora Journeys. I have been on the ship at least 12 times. I work all the time when I'm on board, doing webinars, Teams meetings, FaceTime chats, and I have never had a disruption in my internet when I've been on board Explora Journeys. And that's even in the elevators. The reason for that is we have routers in every single suite. We also have routers in all the public places. We use 2 satellite internet providers. So not only do we use a company called SAS, but we also use Starlink. And you get the joy of connecting 3 devices at one time. So you don't have to log off your laptop to get on your iPhone, log off your iPhone to get on your iPad. All 3 of those devices can be connected at once. So if you have clients that do need to stay connected, they might need to do some work while they're on board. We like to call it the prospect of doing leisure on Explora Journeys, a little business with a little leisure as well. And they can certainly do that on board. All gratuities are included, and then shuttle service to and from the port or city center when we're not docked or tendered very close to that city center. And then of course, there are additional inclusions and services applied when guests are booking in our ocean penthouses or in our residences, which are our top suites, which I'll address in a moment here. Now, I mentioned I wanted to touch base on service. We are getting extremely high marks regarding our service on board. And with that service, we have a guest to host ratio of 1.25 to 1, which means we are giving personalized, intuitive service to your clients. And we do hire our team from all over the world. So we're not concentrating on hiring from one particular region. We hire all over the world, and we hire from high-end hotels and also from other luxury ocean experiences. And in any given space on board the ship, there's never more than 20% of one specific nationality in that space delivering service to your clients. So we are getting really amazing, what we call NPS scores. If you're not familiar with Net Promoter scores, this is the propensity for your clients to recommend our brand to friends and family. Right now, our Net Promoter scores are averaging in the low 80s. And that's really, really high, especially for a new brand. And just in general, that's high. So the guest satisfaction is really resonating when it comes to the service and the quality of what we're offering on board. So when we talk about what we offer on board, I want to share with you what our onboard suites look like. Now, to start off with, I mentioned, I think earlier, that we have 461 suites on board. And these suites have been designed to really create a sense of comfort and your home at sea. Now, when we talk about our brand, we like to talk about ourselves more in the light of a boutique hotel at sea. So when we refer to our suites, we say the word suites. We don't say cabins, because cabin, again, evokes that idea of small and confined space. These are the largest lead-in suites in our category. So our ocean terrace suites, they are 377 square feet, and our suites go all the way up to 3,000 square feet. The other thing that we always say is we always say that they're oceanfront, again, akin to a hotel. If you're talking about a hotel, we know there's a big difference between ocean view and oceanfront rooms. So every single one of our suites are oceanfront rooms. They also all have terraces, and we say the word terraces, not veranda, not balcony. Again, those are more ship terms. So terrace, again, evokes that idea of a hotel and also more space. And our terraces, minimum terrace size is 75 square feet. So there is a lot of space on these terraces. Double, a table and 2 chairs, a day bed, you can really relax. And again, having that access to the ocean is key. So as we talk about our 461 suites, I'm going to start big, because I always say, go big or go home. If you start big, you always have the smaller to fall down to. But if you start lower, it's always harder to upsell. So why not sell the dream of sailing in our owner's residence? On ships 1 and 2, we have 1 owner's residence. Now, by talking to travel advisors, we quickly learned that affluent guests like to travel together in the same type of suite. So on ships 3, 4, 5, and 6, we're actually going to have 2 owner's residences. So the owner's residence on 1 and 2 actually spans the entire aft of deck 8. It's 3,014 square feet. The layout you see here, the terrace is absolutely amazing and immense, and it looks over that stair step in the aft. In the interior space of the suite, you have comfortable, more than comfortable living area here, entertaining area. There's a beautiful dining room. You don't even have to leave your suite. You can have meals served from all the various different restaurants in your suite if you would like. The bedroom accommodations are quite comfortable as well. Bathroom is immense. Not only do you have a tub and walk-in shower, but you also have your very own steam room in there, huge walk-in closets. And then the terrace, of course, you do have your private plunge pool that's an infinity pool overlooking the aft. Now, the owner's residence, along with all of our other ocean residences, which I'm going to cover in a moment, also comes with their own dedicated suite host. So you have someone that is tending to your every beck and need when you're on board Explora Journeys in one of our residences. Now, if the owner's residence is a little bit too big for your client's liking, we do have another 22 residences on board, and they do range in anywhere from 753 square feet up to 1,604 square feet. So they start with our co-residence, which is the 753 square feet. And then they build up to what we call our retreat residence, which you're seeing some images here of the retreat residence, into our serenity residence, and then our cocoon residence, which is just over 1,600 square feet. Again, these all come with their own private jacuzzi hot tubs on the terraces and that dedicated suite host. Penthouses would be a step down from our residences. And our penthouses, we have 67 of these, and there are 4 different categories of penthouses as well. And they do range from 463 square feet up to 732 square feet. So you're seeing right here a schematic of our premier penthouse, for which we have the most in our penthouse category. But it does start with just a penthouse category. It goes to a deluxe penthouse, and then up to our premier penthouse, and then into our grand penthouse, which is very similar to the Cove residence. It just doesn't have a jacuzzi hot tub or a jacuzzi hot tub on their terrace. So that would be the difference there, or a dedicated suite host as well. So you're seeing some images of the penthouses, which are very spacious, extremely comfortable. One of my favorite is that premier penthouse, and here you're seeing an image of the Soji screen looking from the bedroom into the living area, and then the living area of the premier penthouse suite. Lots of space in here to spread out and feel really comfortable on your journey. Now, the entry-level ocean terrace suite is that 377 square feet that I mentioned of. So the terrace is 75 square feet, and the interior space is 302 square feet. Now, we have 361 of these. 80 of these are connecting. So we are owned by a family, and we do accommodate multi-gen travelers, and therefore we do have connecting suites. Oftentimes you're going to have an ocean terrace suite connecting to a penthouse or one of the residences. So the parents or patriarch or whomever's paying for the journey gets that bigger suite. But all of our suites, regardless of it's the ocean terrace suite that you're seeing here or the owner's residence, all of them have king beds. They all have proper coffee makers, espresso makers, tea kettles, in-suite mini bars. They all have plenty of USB, USB-C chargers. They have mag chargers that are flushed with the table surface of the nightstand. They have night lights that light up that are motion censored at night to get you to the bathrooms. They have Dyson hair dryers, very generous walk-in closets, heated marble floors, really large European walk-in showers. There are some suites that have tub shower combinations. So those are all denoted on the deck plans. And there are some suites also where the king bed does split into 2 twin beds. And again, that's denoted on the deck plans. So be sure to check that out if that is something that your clients are needing or wanting. All of the various different categories can be found on our ship guides. They can be found on our websites and in the booking engines when you are looking and shopping for the various categories. So once we've got you comfortable and in your very own home at sea on board, we do want to make sure that you have culinary experiences that, for lack of better words, knock your socks off. And I'm going to give full credit to our culinary experiences to the gentleman on the right here. His name is Frank Danger. He came to us from Oceania, and he brought a team of chefs with him when he came over to Explora Journeys. And they were given a blank slate to build our culinary experiences. And let me tell you, the culinary on board Explora Journeys is getting extremely, extremely high marks. These are the 6 restaurants that you're going to, the 6 standalone restaurants that we have on board. But in total, we have 11 different culinary experiences that you can have. And I'm going to go through these restaurants very quickly here. And I think the next slide is a little out of order here. I'm not sure what happened here, but let me just flip through some of these. These are more images of the suites that you've already seen. I'm not really sure why these are coming up again. But let's go back to those culinary experiences. Bear with me a moment here. I'm sorry about that. We're going to start off with Fil Rouge. So Fil Rouge is one of the largest restaurants on board. There's no reservation required in this restaurant. This is open for breakfast and dinner. And I will say this is probably the most formal looking of all of our restaurants. But we have no formal nights on board. So Country Club Casual is our dress code on board. Country Club Chic in the evenings. Gentlemen do not need to wear suits, ties, jackets, any of that. Remember, we're targeting that affluent working wealthy. they work a lot at home and they don't want to have to dress up or be told how to dress when they're on vacation. So we make sure that they are definitely comfortable when they're on board. Fil Rouge is French-inspired international cuisine. As I said, breakfast and dinner, no reservations are required. Right next to Fil Rouge is the Med Yacht Club, another one of our larger restaurants. I love this because there is a bar in this restaurant. It's open for lunch and dinner, so you can come in, have a casual drink, maybe a tapas while you wait for your friends or your family, and then you can be seated at a table and enjoy an amazing Mediterranean-style dinner or lunch in here. Think think Italian, Greek, even North African tagines in here. Absolutely amazing. Tapas is the theme of the menu here in Med Yacht Club, and this is probably the space on board that looks most like a ship because it is so much themed with nautical accoutrements, as you can see here in the imagery. Now, there are a few casual options on board, one being your in-suite dining. But Emporium Marketplace is one of the, in my opinion, my favorite and best casual dining experience on board. And this is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is not a buffet. Buffet is a word that is not in our lexicon. Instead, we have 18 different cooking stations here, and everything is made a la minute, and it changes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And what people are absolutely loving about Emporium Marketplace is that they aren't having to skimp on the level of cuisine that they're having to have a casual experience. So you can come up here in the morning and have freshly made croissants, pain de chocolat. You can have smoothies made for you. In the afternoon, they have fresh pastas, pizza, amazing pizza oven up there. In the evenings, they have oysters on the half shell, lobster tails, you name it, all sorts of varieties up here that change throughout the morning, afternoon, and night. And that's Emporium Marketplace. Now, there are 3 restaurants on board that you do need to make a reservation at. Now, what the industry has done a fabulous job of is creating the perception that if you have to make a reservation in a restaurant, that means that the cuisine is going to be elevated in that restaurant. That is not the case on Explora Journeys. The reason that you have to make a reservation in these next 3 restaurants is because the space is smaller. As you can see, we went from about 136, 222, down to about 92 guests that could fit in Sakura. Now, Sakura is our Pan-Asian restaurant. This is open for breakfast and dinner, and you can make a reservation online at any of the next 3 restaurants, 1 per suite prior to getting on board. And if there is space once you get on board, you can make a reservation for a second night or do a walk-up reservation as well. So in here, you're going to find some influence from Japan, from Vietnam, Asian influences here, sushi bar, amazing sushi bar, Thai food. One of my favorite dishes in here is our lobster pad thai. So lots of variety and choice in here. And I also love the fact that it's an open kitchen, so you can watch them hustle and shuffle back there. And it just creates a great ambiance. Marble & Co. is our European-inspired steakhouse. Now, this is only open for dinner. Again, reservations required in here. Cuts of beef from around the world in here, but also other different types of protein. I personally am not a beef eater, but I love going in here for the ahi tuna or the chicken. Frank's chicken in here is amazing. So Marble & Co., another restaurant, only open for dinner, reservation required. Now, Anthology is the only restaurant that is not included in the Journey Fare. There is an additional experience fee of $140 per person, and that's because this is a very high-end Italian tasting menu that Frank has created himself. So this is an 8-course tasting menu. People go in here and it is truly a gastronomic culinary experience. And if you would like, you can do a very unique wine pairing with this for an additional $60 per person. So those are all of our true standalone restaurants, but we do also have multiple bars and lounges throughout the ship. And some of these bars and lounges also give you the opportunity to have some food experiences as well. So in total, we have 12 bars and lounges, 8 interior and 4 exterior. Showing you a few examples here, Crema Cafe in the middle, bottom center is kind of the heartbeat of the ship. That's where we have all of our specialty teas, coffees, light bites and pastries throughout the morning, afternoon, and evening. Explora Lounge is one of my favorite places on board. It's deck 11 forward, and we do afternoon tea every day here from 4 to 5, and also throughout the day, you can order food into Explora Lounge as well. Journeys Lounge is where our main entertainment is going to be in the evening typically, but throughout the day they have luminaries and lecturers in here. They might have a dance class, they might have just a gathering of maybe our Solo Savant Society or our Prison Society might meet in here. Lots of different things going on. We've got the malt whiskey bar with a cigar bar right next to it, the Sky Bar, beautiful views from the top of deck 14. A stern lounge can be a disco in the evening, karaoke, silent disco, lectures throughout the day, trivia, whatnot. Lots of things going on in these lounges and bars. And speaking of things going on, we do have a plethora of entertainment, from activities to DJ sets to events to rituals that we do on board, and then of course experiences. Not only do we have in-house entertainers, but we also have guest entertainers that we bring on board, anywhere from comedians to mentalists to dance teams to vocalists, you name it. We will keep you entertained. We do have 3 Steinway pianos on board our ships, and you'll oftentimes find classic pianists on board, maybe acoustic guitar players singing with pianists, so on and so forth. Whatever we offer, our main prospect is to help you find the right vibe for the right mood that you're in. And we don't ever want to be pushing you into entertainment by making announcements and saying, come here because we're going to be doing this. It's all about you finding the entertainment that fits best for you. Now, you heard me mention that the 2 ships currently are sailing in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, and I think our ships shine absolutely fabulous in warm weather. And that's because we have so much outdoor space. And not only do we have 1 pool, but we have 4 pools on our ship. A ship of our size, typically you only find 1 pool, but we have 4, 3 heated outdoor pools and 1 indoor outdoor pool that has a glass retractable roof. Across these 4 pools, there are various cabanas throughout the ship. No reservations required, first come, first serve. And we have multiple indoor and outdoor whirlpools as well. And I love a lot of our whirlpools are infinity whirlpools that are linear, so they sit facing out towards the ocean and look like infinity pools. One little known fact is that there are more outdoor loungers and spaces to sit than there are people on board the ship. So there never should be that prospect of having to put your book down or your towel and your stuff to save a space. People are moving throughout the ship and going and finding different little nooks and crannies. Every time I go on board, I find a new space that I didn't know about before. One of my favorite spaces on board is our ocean wellness space. And a little known fact is that most cruise lines outsource their spa and fitness area. When you do that, you lose control over what you're delivering to your clients. And we wanted to make sure that we did everything in-house so that we could focus on the well-being of our clients. So everything that we do in our fitness and wellness area is focused around creating energy, giving the guests good sleep, relaxation, being mindful, and then also on their immunity. So you'll see a lot of different treatments available for your guests. We have over 7,000 square feet of space dedicated to our wellness facilities. And I mentioned earlier that in your journey fare, it is including access to the spa hydrotherapy area. So what you're seeing here is that hydrotherapy pool, the Himalayan salt cave, the steam room, the dry sauna, the experience shower, the ice fall shower, so on and so forth. On sea days, if you've booked a treatment, you have access to that space all day long. If you haven't booked a treatment, there are morning hours and late afternoon, evening hours that you can enjoy complimentary. On port days, regardless of whether or not you have a treatment booked, you can enjoy the hydrotherapy area at any time. Now, we also want to make sure that we give you an opportunity to try and stay fit while you're on board. So we do have a generous amount of space dedicated to fitness as well. And that space is both indoor and outdoor. On deck 10 aft, we do have our fitness center where we have all of our cardio machines. We have our classroom that you're seeing here, all powered by Techno Gym. And then on deck 14, we have an outdoor fitness area where you'll find bicycles and rowing machines and the weight benches that you see here, as well as a half basketball court and, ladies and gentlemen, a pickleball court, and of course a jogging track. So lots of ways to stay fit while you're on board with Explora Journeys. Now, last space that I do want to touch on is another space that is typically outsourced to a third party, and this is shopping. And you might think, why is she highlighting shopping? Well, for our luxury clients, we felt that this was a great prospect and an opportunity to highlight lesser known luxury providers. So we went out and we actually curated very high-end luxury providers who really had a focus on provenance, craftsmanship, entrepreneurial, and each of the 30 different luxury providers that we have in here has a very unique story. And our team in the shops are there to share the story more than anything, as opposed to trying to make that really hard sell. So again, it's really about the experience when it comes to shopping. We also have 4 mono-branded Swiss watch shops. We are owned by a Swiss company, and so we want to make sure that the gold thread of Swiss luxury is woven through everything that we do. That includes the shopping. So on board Explora One, you're going to find Cartier, Panerai, Piaget, and ladies and gentlemen, the very first and one and only Rolex store at sea. And yes, you can walk off the ship with a Rolex on your wrist, which if you go into any Rolex store shoreside, that's not necessarily the case these days. It's a year to 2 years to get your Rolex. People are actually buying their journey with us to purchase their Rolex. And this is going to be only on Explora One at the moment. Explora 2 has the other 3 watch shops, but instead of the Rolex, has a very beautiful Italian jewelry shop called Buccellati. Explora 3 may have Rolex back, but Rolex is actually the one making that decision, and there will be more about that to come. Now that covers pretty much all of the ship. We do have a casino if anybody is interested. We have what I like to call our boutique casino with 18 slots and 3 tables playing 4 different games. We also have a space built out on board for children's programming called our Nautilus Center. So those kids ages 6 to 17, there is a space for them to go to, and a Nautilus experience manager 365 days of the year, regardless of if there's 1 child or 50 children on board. And I said that we accommodate families. We accommodate families, but we don't necessarily promote to families. But we are your ultra luxury ocean experience that you can feel comfortable sending your affluent families to. Now I want to touch, before we close and open it up for Q&A, on our commitment to you and some of those commercial terms, because as I mentioned, travel advisors are the key distribution channel to our brand. So we've made a very strong commitment to you to offer very handsome commissions, tailor-made by market, no NCFs. So that's huge. You're already giving yourself a pay raise by booking with Explora Journeys because we no longer have NCFs. Commissions are paid on add-ons to the tune of 5%. That includes hotels, transfers, pre-post activities, as well as air, which I'll touch on in a moment. And then we have a whole host of policies that we want to make as friendly and joyful for you to do business with us. If you have not registered with us, this is a great opportunity to scan this QR code, and it's going to take you to the registration page for our Travel Advisor Center. On our Travel Advisor Center, you're going to find our booking suite, our marketing suite, our knowledge suite. You can connect with our ambassadors. You can also connect with our sales team. We have a wonderful group of business relationship leads throughout North America that are here to help you grow your business with Explora Journeys. All of our email addresses, our phone numbers are found on the Travel Advisor Center. Right now, we actually have a vacancy in the South Florida market, but that will very soon be replaced on February 24th with a lovely woman by the name of Jennifer Greenfield, who will be your business relationship lead to service the South Florida market. And we'll be making that announcement very shortly. And this team will be expanding throughout this year. We are looking to add someone in the Mid-Atlantic region, as well as the French Canadian market. Now, when you do engage with us, one of the best ways to promote us is to utilize our co-branded website. So this is in partnership with Approach Guides. If you scan this QR code, it will literally take you less than 1 minute to create a URL that is specific to you, but is our website, virtually taking away the Book Now button and replacing it with a Learn More and all of your contact information. This avoids you having to keep up with all of our information. If you're trying to market us or brand us, you can just utilize the link, your private link to our URL at any deep link within the site and share that with your clients to introduce our brand. It's very simple, very easy. If you need any more information or need any tutorials, our business relationship leads can help you with that as well. And last but not least, I do want to mention that we did open up our air services program late last year. So we do not only provide private air, but also published fares as well as contracted air. So you do make 5% commission on our air services. And what I love is the flexibility that this offers your clients to deviate up to 30 days pre and post their journey. Remember I mentioned that it was really key to think of the cruise as just part of the journey? Well, booking with our air services allows you to do that and package it all into one. Now we are in the middle of Wave, as I'm sure you're all aware, so I did want to highlight our unique oceans offer, which does give you up to 40% savings on some of our journeys and a reduced deposit of 10%. But more importantly, it also affords your client a pre-journey destination experience credit of up to $1,000. And that's going to be dependent upon the category of suite they book with us. So that would allow you the ability to book your destination experiences ahead of time with a little bit of credit there. So with that, Joni, I'm going to turn it over to you because I know you have access to see what questions might be asked during the presentation. And you know what, I'm going to slide back into that slide with the approach guides QR code while we go through questions in case anyone didn't get a chance to snapshot that and access our white label site.
That's perfect. Thank you. I was going to ask you if you could do that. That's awesome. Well, I don't know about everybody else on here, but I'm pretty sure I speak for all of us. I'm ready. Let's go. Wow. It's almost as if you guys have thought of everything. I mean, everything that anyone would have a little bit of a hesitation about with of the line, you kind of fixed it. It's like, whoa, honestly, I'm not exaggerating. I've been in this industry 50 years, and I can honestly say you guys seemingly have thought of everything. I'm very impressed.
We try.
A lot of people are saying they agree with me. So yeah, it's definitely something. It's amazing. It's so cool. I can't wait. I can't wait to see one of the ships. But I do have some questions for you. Get down to business here before we do our prize giveaway. Good question. Dennis wants to know, what % of handsome commission do you pay?
Well, for those of you that are affiliated with a consortia, we pay up to 18%. So that is a big benefit to being affiliated with a consortia. Currently, our commission percentages start at 15%. They aren't tiered at the moment because we want to get travel advisors super engaged. But in the future, there may be a tiering of commissions based on your production with us. So it's great to get engaged now to take advantage of those very handsome commissions. And also the price point that we are offering right now for your clients is a great way to get clients interested, because we all know once you get them hooked, they start to come back. And we are already seeing a good percentage of our clients are repeat clients. We just need more of that in the future as well.
That's fantastic. Okay. So a little more technical question. When you talked about the devices per cabin or per person connected to the Wi-Fi in the cabin, is that like a per person or a per device? I think there was a little confusion on that one.
Sure. So it's per person. You can have up to 3 devices connected at all times.
Okay. Okay. Per person, 3 devices. Okay, great. Yep. Thanks for clearing that up. Yep. All right. And can you include a website address for those that are on their phones and cannot reach the QR code or aren't able to do that? Can you just tell us what is the best website for an agent? Just spell it out for me.
Yep, it's explorajourneys.com/travel advisors.
Okay, perfect. Explora Journeys.
When you go on to the explorajourneys.com website, you'll see in the top right-hand corner, it asks if you're a travel advisor, and that link will take you to the Travel Advisor Center.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let's see. For restaurant reservations, you mentioned 1 per suite. Is that 1 reservation per suite?
1 reservation per restaurant per suite.
Okay. Okay. So total 3. Okay. Yep. All right. Perfect. Yep. Awesome. Okay, good. Thought of that too, didn't you? Well, you guys are amazing. Okay. I swear, you know, and somebody just posted something. They said, be sure to give best regards to my buddy, Chris Austin. This is from Neil Miller. And I think, knowing Chris as I do, and I know Neil knows him, I think he had a lot to do with some of these things, which is awesome. Very, very exciting.
I think he was employee number 2 or 3. And I followed him from Seabourn. And so I've seen him, and we've both been very involved with a lot of the commercial and just even decision making of what's gone on as far as the building of the ships and the product as well.
And this is why agents are getting what they need. That's amazing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's see, what was the other question? With the co-branded site, does it provide your brand information while not allowing the public to book through your site?
100%. That's what the
Okay.
co-branded site is all about. So as I mentioned, it removes that book now button, which typically would be there and encouraging the client to book directly with us. And instead of a book now, it says contact me. And that leads to your email address. It also has your ability to put your logo on there, your phone number, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's 100% going to drive that lead back to you.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, so I am going to ask the question that I know is on everybody's mind, or a lot of people's mind, and that is, it sounds amazing, and it obviously is amazing. Will you be offering any sort of agent incentives in the future?
Great question, and I could have predicted that that was going to come up. We so far have gotten thousands and thousands of travel advisors on board through various means. We had the opportunity for you to book one with us and sail free for those advisors that engaged with us before the end of 2023. So we've gotten thousands of advisors on through that way. We've also had many advisors sail with us on travel advisor rates. If you are interested in a travel advisor rate, I would encourage you to reach out to your business relationship lead. We don't publish our travel advisor rates because we want to make sure that advisors who are sailing with us are really connected with us. So there are qualifiers that are required in order for you to have access to a TA rate, and your business relationship lead can certainly help you with that information.
Perfect. Okay, thank you for that. Did have another more technical question about the cancellation on destination experiences. If they pre-booked prior to sailing, what's the policy on the cancellation on those, if there is one?
I believe it's 24 to 48 hours in advance, and it's going to depend on the destination experience, but it would be spelled out in the T's and C's of the destination experience when you book.
Okay, perfect. That makes sense. All right. And as long as they can get that information. Okay. So there were a few times when your voice faded out. It just happens with technology. So somebody was just asking, oh no, it doesn't happen. It didn't happen often. No concern with it. We have, by the way, folks, we have recorded this entire webinar. Thank goodness we can all go back and be reminded why we want to sell this. Needless to say, you'll be able to hear that. So some folks were asking about the TA rates. They couldn't hear the last 30 seconds of it, but I think if you go back and listen to the recording, you should be able to get that. Do you have accessible cabins? That's a really good question that just came up. Thank you.
Yes, we operate in the North American market, so therefore we do have to adhere to the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act. So we do have 10 of our suites are ADA accessible suites, as well as all of our pools, elevators, so on and so forth. One thing that I would encourage everyone to do is, if you have clients who have a special need or accommodation that needs to be noted, reach out ahead of time. We do have an email, guestcare@explorajourneys.com, where you can advise us of any dietary needs, mobility issues, special needs, whatever it might be. The only thing is, please let us know well in advance, because we can always make accommodations as long as we have a heads up. It's when they show up, surprisingly, that
that makes tons of sense. Yeah, that's part of the job duty of a good travel advisor is think ahead, and so I'm sure everybody here will do that. Absolutely, amazing information. I can't thank you enough. I just have to share two things with you. Someone said I just booked myself and another couple on Explora 2. Yay, Jeannie, sailing Casablanca to Barcelona in April of 25. Oh, can I come with you? Okay, okay. And then somebody else, I'm going to give this last statement and then we'll do our question for the prize. And that statement is from Neil, and he says, my web creator is adding Explora link to my website today. I don't think it gets in much better than that. All right.
No, so it does not. It does not.
Kudos to you and Chris and your team. Amazing, amazing what you guys have done. It's something very exciting in our industry to look forward to. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do our prize giveaway here. I'm going to give a $50 gift card courtesy of Travel Professional News to some lucky person here today. So folks, what you're going to do is you're going to, as fast as you can, because I know some of you have been on our webinars before, keyboard in the answer to this question. And it's a little bit of a longer answer, so I will give you time. And I'm going to pick, Aimee, what's your lucky number?
8.
8. Okay. I was hoping you weren't going to say like 28 or something like that, because that would make it really hard. Okay, 8. We got it. All right. All right, here we go. The question is, what are the, oh, and by the way, folks, you put them in the questions area that you've been typing the questions, and that's where you put the answer. Sorry, I want to make sure I said that. Okay. What are the 4 differentiator pillars of Explora Journeys? Go.
I can see everybody's fingers.
They're going quickly. Yes, they are.
Yes.
Everyone loved your presentation, by the way. Wonderful, wonderful comments here.
Thank you. It's always fun to share the brand story.
Oh, amen. I'm sure it is. I'm sure you do a lot of it, but you do a great job.
Thanks. I do a lot of it.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
This is the 3rd one today, to be honest with you.
Oh my goodness, girl. Oh, you gotta be tired of saying the same thing. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, a lot of people got this right. 6, 7.
They were listening.
Yes, they were. And our winner is number 8, and that is Pamela P.J. Ott. Pamela, congratulations.
Yeah.
I know you. That is awesome.
Yes,
Good
Pamela.
for you. That's great. So I will be sending you, just so you know, Pamela, I have your email address in our system, so I will go ahead and send you a gift card a little bit later this afternoon. So she says, yeehaw. So good job, Pamela. Have fun spending it. I always love to spend on Amazon. All right. So everybody here, I can't thank you enough. Aimee, this was awesome. Please
Thank
give
you.
my love to Chris and tell him that you
Will do.
rocked it, as I know he knows you do. And we're looking forward to having the travel advisors on this webinar, focus and sell your brand. It's going to be fun for the industry and make for very, very, obviously very happy clients. I'll let you say your goodbyes and then we'll close it down.
Yes, thanks you, Joni, and to the team at Travel Professionals, and thank you to everyone on the phone and line today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are more than happy and interested in helping you grow your business with us. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Joni.
All right, folks, have a wonderful afternoon. You will be receiving a link with the information about this recording tomorrow, probably about this time. So you can be watching for that. And thanks everybody for sharing your afternoon with us. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.